I'm Brian Haight, and I play Brian in Marble Hornets.
You play Brian? Who plays Brian? Who plays Brian? Yeah. I'm Troy Wagner. I play Jay in Marble Hornets, and I'm the co-creator, co-writer, and editor.
I'm Joseph Delage. I play Alex in the series, and I'm also the co-creator and co-guy for the thing.
Co-other stuff.
Co-other.
I'm Tim Sutton. I play Tim in Marble Hornets, and I'm also co-star, co-writer, co-sound designer sometimes, everything, co-guy.
Co-guy that we needed at the moment.
So how did this all, like, how did you get the idea to start doing this? Like, what was it that just kind of was like, oh, hey, we should do something like this, you know?
You didn't get the job at Cold Stone and needed something to do.
I did an audition at Cold Stone over the summer, and they didn't hire me. So I was like, I should do something and not just sit around on the internet. So
It's a scary place sometimes. Isn't it?
yeah.
So if anything, you could say that if it weren't for Cold Stone, Marble Hornets would never happen, right? In a way.
Kind of, yeah. If it wasn't for Cold Stone and that movie theater and Panera, like, yeah, I wouldn't have. If I didn't get that
If you were
summer
just
job,
a little bit more hireable.
if I was better, yeah. No, Panera called me overqualified. I was like, what? What are you talking about? I worked at a steel mill once. Like, how am I overqualified? Oh, but yeah. Yeah, it all started with Almost Something Awful forums. Victor Surge making the Slender Man, and us kind of taking aspects of that and making it kind of our own thing, turning it into the operator in Marble Hornets. And yeah, really it was, I didn't get a summer job and I was bored and I didn't want to waste time, so I thought up, when I read that thread on Something Awful that started the whole thing, I just thought, no one's done video yet with this, so I'm going to do that. And so I called Joseph up that night and said, hey, are you doing anything? And he goes, no.
I did have a summer job, but it was very
Easy.
Yeah. Easy.
Loose and easy, yeah. So Joseph was like, yeah, sure. And he came over, we wrote all the beginning entries, and then veered wildly off of that after 5 entries.
Yeah.
And it's been completely out of control in the best way possible ever since. Yeah.
So how have you been, I guess, how has it been for you guys since, like, you know, the Slenderman games came out and, like, you garnered more attention from that? Like, what are some of the, and I see a lot of similarities between things going on in the story for the Slender games that are also similar to things that you've brought up in your series. So, yeah, I'm sure this is not the first time you've heard that.
Oh, yeah.
The first game, we knew that Mark Hadley, the guy that created it, had seen our show already because
They were definitely.
He's a fan.
we talked to him a couple times after it came out, but then also just I recognized a lot of the locations because there were places that we'd been.
Yeah.
So
He had like a tunnel, a tower, like
Yeah.
other stuff that I can't think off the top of my head, and he had like the pages that were like very obviously inspired by Marble Hornets, and like the distortion and everything with the camera. So yeah, I mean it was kind of like a tribute almost, in a way, and
that got us a pretty big spike in view count.
yeah, we're really thankful for that game because it was like we can go back and look at all the charts of view counts and everything, and it's like you know, like it just shoots up all of a
Before
sudden.
the game came out, our previous high total views for an entire month was the season 2 finale. We had something like 2.5 million views.
Yeah.
The first month, wasn't even a full month, but the first month that Slender was out, we hit over 4 million views.
Yeah.
And the month after that, we hit 5.5 million views in a month.
So that was a pretty big
It was
spike.
ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
It has since slowed down.
Yeah,
But-
it's kind of leveled out again now.
Yeah.
But it provided a huge boost.
It's leveled out at a level that's still above what it used to be,
Right.
which is good because that means you've retained some audience from that.
Yeah.
And now the hooded mask figure has shown up in some of the Slender games.
Yeah, we were actually in Slender: The Arrival. We
Yes.
were contacted, or no, we weren't contacted. We contacted Mark Hadley because we were kind of
Like,
talking to him
Before
anyway.
the game came out, I told Mark, I was like, hey, if you ever want to do anything, if you want to write a sequel or something and you want our help, feel free to contact us. We think it's a really cool idea and everything.
Yeah.
And
we
like
like video
6 months
games,
later,
so-
he was like, hey, you want a job?
Yeah, and so we were we wrote a big overall story thing for the game, and they had already built a lot of the levels. So
They
we
kind of
had
gave
to-
us the levels and were like, hey, make a story for this.
Yeah, so we kind of had to write around the levels they had made in Unity or whatever it was.
And I think that character was already in there by that point, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't put that character in there. We just had to try and explain who it was. I mean, it was a fun experience. I can say I've written for a video game now.
Yeah.
And some of that writing even made it in.
Some of the writing that we gave them was actually used. So
Weren't your canoe rules made?
what?
Didn't you write the canoe rules?
I wrote the canoe rules. Yeah, I did. That was in there. Yeah, they've kind of since veered wildly off what we gave them, and it's kind of like. The
Occasionally
thing-
I'll get like a message on Facebook like, what was this supposed to mean? And I just kind of go,
I don't know.
Like we didn't write that, so they just kind of took our big story and everything, and we're just kind of like, gonna take that out, gonna take that out, gonna take that out. So it's like that's kind of frustrating in a way that we wrote that and then a lot of it wasn't used, but at the same time, it's their game, so
Right.
And also, if it keeps on having people find Marble Hornets that wouldn't have otherwise,
yeah.
Right.
fine with that.
yeah.
Well, I mean, some of the things that you definitely have to look at when you're filming something like this is, difficulty with filming in certain locations. How do you guys overcome some of the challenges for the locations that you were in?
We go and hope we
Sneakiness.
don't get caught.
General sneakiness.
Yeah, we're pretty. We have a few strategies now. We've never actually said certain places that we're not allowed to be. We've alluded to it very obviously, but I mean, we've worked on getting like permits or something for locations. But in Alabama, it's not like LA or anything. You're not like. Everyone doesn't know how all filming permits and everything works in Alabama, so it's not like people always squeezing you for money to use places. So I mean, there's been a few times we've walked into a location used before, asked the person who was in charge, like, hey, can we shoot something in here? And they're like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Can I be in it?
In fact,
Yeah.
an antique store, we just went in and we were looking for just someone to basically say, we see him every once in a while.
Yeah, like, just
and
very-
so we went in, and the lady behind the counter at this antique shop were like, "Hey, would you mind like saying 2 lines on camera for us?" And she's like, "Oh yeah, that sounds fun."
yeah, she's like, it's great, and she just like did
She
it.
nailed it, too.
She nailed it. So I mean, people are a lot more.
They see the novelty in it.
Yeah, they see the novelty in it a lot more than they would like out west somewhere, because they'd be like, yeah, you can use my location for
Money.
a whole lot of money, and like give me all your liability papers and stuff.
Yeah, if you're insured, if you have this much money, if
Yeah.
it's.
You guys had a police officer say, "Hey, if you ever need a cop."
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually got, we were shooting something that involved blood, and this cop rolls up to us. Luckily we had the can of fake blood with us we could jump.
It was just like in a parking lot.
Yeah.
Not far away from where we live.
Yeah, it was like within walking distance of where I live. And he just kind of rolled up and was like, hey, what are you guys doing? We're like, okay, this is going to sound weird, but we're shooting a web series. And he was like, oh, if you guys ever need a cop.
Yeah.
Like half jokingly, But hey, if we ever need a cop,
Yeah.
I still remember his number.
Now, I was behind about 3 episodes, and one of the cool things that, I thought it was kind of fortuitous, I caught up on all 3 of those episodes on Halloween. So my next question is, how many people have come up to you and said that, oh my God, I watched this stuff on Halloween because of like the creepy factor and everything?
We've
Like,
actually had several people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. People tell us that this weekend. So.
Yeah, well, I've been talked to by quite a few people over the years that were like, watching all the entries back to back to back or something is like my Halloween tradition now. That's really cool.
We actually had one of our friends lives out in LA, but is actually moving to our region, so hopefully we can work with him. John Soares, he does also a YouTube series, which is really good, called The Danger Element.
Yeah. Oh, also he made this old internet thing called Sock Baby,
Which we're huge fans
we're
of.
huge
so.
fans of since like 6th grade.
He's worked with Doug Jones too.
Yeah, he's
so,
also worked with Doug
Jones.
But he messaged us and he's like, we did some Marble Hornets marathon marathoning leading up to Halloween, and you have broken us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just
So-
said my only regret is we couldn't have broken more.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
I mean, it makes more sense than it being, this is my Christmas tradition now. Or
Yeah. I do this on Easter. We love doing this on Easter.
Yeah.
It's great.
Best 4th of July ever.
Yes. Columbus Day Marathon.
We open up the YouTube and make the kids sit down and watch with us.
Didn't we have someone tell us they were watching it and like as soon as they finished a couple episodes, their power went out as soon as the operator?
Yeah,
came on?
someone told us that at GMX here. They were like, I was watching an episode or something, and like it was like near the beginning. She
Yeah.
said, and she said as soon as the operator came on, and I noticed it, like my power went out. She's like, I screamed bloody murder. Like, you're welcome. We didn't do that, but
Perfect timing.
yeah.
Tim was just standing outside with bolt cutters next
Yeah.
to the power cables. Hey, Kevin.
We're
Little-
very dedicated to making the experience memorable.
Yeah. we actually cut the power of everyone that watches it.
We like to make the terror real.
Yeah.
Because you totally get those stats on YouTube as well. You
Yeah,
know exactly
yeah.
where they
Someone
live. and
watching
everything.
something right now, and we just kind of teleport over and they go.
So how is that teleportation device coming along?
It's
Still got a few kinks to work
Yeah.
out.
yeah. We haven't caused any half-lives or anything.
There's been
So.
some splicing.
But who have you been testing it on? That's the question.
Ourselves.
No.
Can't you tell?
That's why there is sometimes those long gaps between entries. We have to make our way back to.
That explains your third nipple, Tim.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm slowly growing a fourth.
Yeah.
Stupid teleportation cancer.
It's funny because Tim actually does have a third nipple.
Right. I'm glad we're talking about that in an interview.
Yep.
I think you've talked about it in a panel. As well.
I'm pretty sure we have
Yeah.
actually.
Probably. That doesn't seem like something you would just let slide.
No.
Oh, it would have been funnier if you'd have just said slip.
Yeah, he's.
Oh man, you got any questions, Robin? He's with me, man. I'm just like I'm
kind of bows his head in shame.
the
but-
bounce out of the gym. Damn you guys.
Jeez.
It's like I've never actually.
What was
heard
it
of
about?
before.
What was it about Slender Man that made you kind of go, well, this is kind of awesome. We should do something with that.
It was kind of a blank slate, I guess.
Yeah,
There's lots to work
It was,
Yeah.
it was like, oh, kind of an internet urban legend that doesn't really have much explanation.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, especially because when they first started, it had only been around for like a week and a half, so there really was almost
Right.
there was like his appearance and then like a couple of stories and
There was barely
there's just a really small handful of stuff to work with, so there was
Yeah.
a lot of room to.
So
to add
it's
on to
actually
it.
really safe to say that you guys kind of built up the lure for the character.
I guess.
Your words, not ours.
Yeah, your words.
When we first started, it was one of those things where like even the rules that had been in place there for them weren't really established.
They were
Right.
easily bent and easily broken
Yeah.
rules, so
And that's why we were able to kind of turn it into our operator, because we're like, well, we don't like these rules and
Yeah.
this backstory and stuff.
we play by our own rules.
Well, I mean, how I found you guys was just doing a simple Google search on Slenderman and then like reading down, and then it said Marble Hornets, and I was like, okay, what's this? And then I go on YouTube and I'm like,
This is a lot
this
of
is kind of interesting.
Yeah. Well,
that's a quote for the DVD right there. This is kind of interesting.
Yeah, there you go.
We could put that right underneath the quote from
Your barber.
my barber. Yeah, I was getting my hair cut one time, and I told him that I did YouTube videos, and I told him he's like older guy, and then the
Named
next
Bart.
time I went in, Bert.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the next time I go in, said, hey, he's like, I'll watch some of them. That was weird. That's a quote for the DVD right there.
Yeah, guy that cuts Tim's hair. That was weird.
That
Yeah.
was weird.
Wait, I'm sorry, what was the question?
Yeah, that's-
about what
Yeah.
I think you actually answered.
Yeah.
it.
It
Yeah.
was we kind of
we
cherry picked a
started
few
talking about
things
that's
and
weird.
built our
Yeah.
own thing. So, I mean, it's not like saying, Slenderman wouldn't be popular if it wasn't for us, because I'm sure if it wasn't us, it would have been someone else.
Yeah.
But, I mean, a lot of the most common things, I would say, that people tie towards that now is kind of things that we did, I guess.
Which is weird to think about.
Which is weird
Yeah.
to say and without sounding big-headed somehow, but it's like, we kind of
Yeah.
made we kind of made the thing that people remember the most, I guess.
Just stuff like the camera distortion and all that kind of stuff was.
was us.
That
yeah.
guy,
Yeah.
that guy right there.
Oh, you.
Trying to scare Joseph.
Yeah.
Which
So-
isn't exactly hard.
No,
Yeah.
not hard at all.
That leads me to another question. When it comes to the post editing and doing all the distortion and everything, like how long of a process does that take, and what programs do you use?
It's varies like crazy depending upon how much distortion and stuff is being used. Sometimes it's I get really lucky and we're just talking and there's no required anything that or any special stuff that is required of me. So that takes like a day.
Yeah.
A day to put together.
But some of them, like 65, the one with all the
Underwater stuff.
the chest cam stuff, that one probably took you like a week and a half, 2 weeks or something like that. It was a while.
It took like 2 months to shoot or something.
Yeah,
Or like a month and a
yeah,
half.
we had the shooting for that one spaced out too, but I mean, just post in general took quite a while too.
I'd probably say about a week. That's probably the most involved thing we've done so far,
Mhm.
and I'd say it probably took about a week.
Hmm.
I use starting off season 1 and 2. I use Sony Vegas.
Yeah, that's
Not even like the pro version, like the consumer version I used, which was really easy to break, which was really easy to make the distortion stuff then.
Yeah.
But then at the end of season 2, it just like crapped out on me at the very last episode of the season.
Yeah,
So-
he'd already announced that he was like the season, this entry will be uploaded like either today or tomorrow, and then Vegas just decided just not gonna render it. So it was about 2 days late, and people were really
Frothing
mad at
it out,
us
yeah.
for that.
So I was like, I think it's time to graduate to something
Yeah.
a little more big boy. So I
Also, we don't announce exact release dates anymore.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
don't-
that's a
for
good
that
thing.
reason.
Yes.
So now I use Adobe Premiere CS 5.5,
Mhm.
which is 0.5 behind what the most current one is, but I don't care.
Right.
It makes it so that you can do more elaborate visual stuff now, or makes it
Yeah.
easier, I think.
Yeah, the workflow of Premiere is not nearly as horrendous as Vegas's was. Vegas is totally fine to start out on, but I wouldn't suggest sticking with it forever. 'Cause I
Granted, you were also using it for a very specialized purpose that
Yeah.
a lot of people probably wouldn't need it
Oh
for.
yeah, I'm sure if it's
so,
just like, talky stuff like we've done before, I'm sure it's totally fine.
Yeah.
Well, like just this right here is going to be rendered in Sony Vegas.
I'm sorry.
HD. Well, I actually am using the pro version, so there's
Oh,
a
okay,
very
yeah,
big
yeah.
difference
Yeah, there is a
between
big difference.
one and the other.
Yeah.
But I mean, if I was still using the green screen and everything that we have, I would have just said screw it and thrown it all together in After Effects. 'Cause I get the-
I know very little about After Effects. I don't have After Effects. so-
Google is the best teacher, and
I'm
this came
sure,
from my design
yeah.
school. This came from my design school teacher. He was like, "You will learn more from Google than you will ever."
When
learn
I was
from
in-
That's
when
how
I was in
pass
school-
all of my classes.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
When I was in school, I learned a very minimal amount of After Effects, and it's like the things that I learned, you can also do in Premiere. So it's like,
Well, there's green screen key lighting, and then like the name suggests, it's for after you've gotten
Yeah,
everything together
yeah.
in your video and you've got your editing done and your timeline well established, and then it's for the final stuff. Like if you're doing background removal or if
Yeah.
you're adding stuff in, like all the lightsaber videos that you see on YouTube,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
all After Effects.
yeah,
So.
yeah. I
Good
have
fun.
not I have not ventured into that. I don't.
And now all the people watching this video, you're yawning from all the tech talk.
So basically,
Go back to Slenderman, guys!
so basically, the stuff that you do in Premiere would be easier to do in After Effects, but it's already
It's already ingrained
set
in
in
my
our
head.
ways.
He's
Yeah.
like, but I've already learned this
Yeah.
system. I don't
Yeah.
want to learn another.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have the money to drop on After Effects right now, but I probably will at some point. I'll probably save up and get it so I can learn it. So
Well,
I can,
that whole
I
like,
can-
mentality
I can-
of, I already know how to do it. That's why I still break Vegas to make some of the sounds.
Oh yeah, I still
Yeah.
use Vegas sometimes, but it's kind of like my I guess audio engineer program, I guess, because it's like it's really easy to break because it's such a consumer thing. So I use it totally in the way that it was not meant to be used to make certain sounds and everything, but I don't use video for that anymore. It's almost like what was that? The thing that we went to last year at GMX. It was the circuit bending stuff.
Oh yeah.
It was it's kind of like that. It's kind of
Mhm.
like breaking something to make something sound cooler.
Which we have done actual circuit bending stuff to make sound effects from time to time too.
You
so-
have. I think.
Well.
You.
So, how surprised are you guys by
Very.
how well this has gone over in the popularity? It's
Never in our wildest,
I figured it would have happened sooner or later.
never in our wildest dreams would we imagine we would be sitting here. We didn't even imagine we would be here like 2 years ago when we were just like, yeah, it's two guys, right?
Yeah.
And
Was Tim with us that year? Were you not with us?
What, the first year?
Yeah, he was
Yeah,
with
was
us.
Oh yeah.
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 You said two guys, so I was like, wait, was Tim here? Okay, yeah. So yeah, like our first year at GMX, which was 2 years ago, we were like, no one's gonna know who we are.
Yeah.
Like we just get invited, and we're like, we're just gonna be two dudes or three.
We made a
dudes.
sign for our
all
booth out of like just a piece of
Yeah.
printer paper.
I mean, just like the opening ceremony, we were sitting away from all the other guests and stuff, and then we weren't expecting to go on stage at all, and then they call our names, and we get on stage, and we're just like,
Hey.
hi.
Yeah, like people.
So this is what fame feels like.
I guess it was
Fame.
very localized fame, I guess. But like, we got the most applause and everything, so we just kind of walked up on stage and we're like,
Hey.
thanks.
We don't know what we're doing.
Yeah.
And now 3 years.
We still don't really know what we're doing.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've been doing stuff like this for 4 years. I still have no clue what I'm doing. So
Yeah,
Hey,
like
that's good.
people don't realize the amount of don't know what we're doing, but you know.
Hey,
We try to educate them every time.
the best inventions were created on accident.
Yep. So I don't think Marble Hornets was totally on accident. I guess its popularity was kind
Or
of
boredom. Or
Yeah.
boredom.
Yeah.
So,
The best things happen when you're bored, I guess.
yeah. It's usually when the ideas strike your head. So
The
like
best
when
ideas
you're trying to actually fall asleep,
Yep.
ideas, and you're like, dang it, and that's when you get up and have to go to your computer and type them down.
We
Or
have
write on
a
a paper.
whole To the Arc video that was entirely a dream you had.
Yeah. Actually, two. Yeah, two. That's just a dream I had. So
That and there's, both To the Art videos and animated things that popped up purely because Troy was bored at work during his desk assistant job.
yeah.
And what things do you guys have coming up that you want to share or can share?
The movie.
Yeah, we have the movie that we can finally talk a little bit about.
A little bit.
It's been shot, it's in post.
Exclusive.
Doug Jones is our operator. We can finally say that.
Yeah.
It was killing me inside.
Yeah, like
Because we went out to LA, we went to the set, and we met Doug Jones.
Yeah.
Couldn't
Pants
say
lap.
anything.
And,
Yeah, and we couldn't say anything.
yeah, and
just
we
signed
get home and
papers.
we're just like,
And then we had to wait like what? Let's see, we were out there in July.
Yeah.
Was it? So July, August, September, October. So like 4 months
Yeah.
almost. We had to wait before we could say that we met Doug Jones, and also he's going to be in the movie based on Marble Hornets. So
And for those who don't know, Doug Jones has been lots of all kinds of stuff, but you've probably only seen his face once or twice because they keep sticking him under makeup. But he's played both the Pale Man and the Faun in Pan's Labyrinth. He was Abe Sapien in the Hellboy movies. He was
Silver
Billy
Surfer.
in
Hocus Pocus.
Hocus Pocus.
Yes.
Right now he's
In Falling Skies.
Falling Skies. He plays a character called Cochise, and
Yeah.
he's in a show called Neighbors. He's all over the place.
Bringing it back to Hocus Pocus. Did you guys see Jason Marsden here or Jason? Marsden here? He was the
Oh, yeah,
cat
he was-
in Hocus Pocus.
Wait, really?
Jinx.
Yes.
He was Jinx. I forgot.
Really?
He
about
was
that.
Jinx,
Ah,
and he was
Yeah.
Max from the Goofy movie.
he knows.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then I found out he lived one exit over from me. I was like, dude, why don't you just come on the show?
It was really weird because I've never had an encounter with a famous person before where I just kind of walked up to him. I was like, so how much is an autograph? He's like, here you go. And just kind of handed it to me. I'm like,
It's like
okay.
I'm just here. I'm just down the road.
Yeah.
So last year when Rob Paulson and Billy West here, and you were like, and everybody was like, oh my god, my childhood. How excited
Yeah.
were you guys to like have guest badges along with them? That's kind of
That was
that's
pretty
gonna be a
surreal.
little intimidating at the same time.
Yeah,
too.
we were in the green room last year hanging out, and we were having like a conversation with Rob Paulson, and it was like, as long as you didn't think about it, it's like
Yeah.
I'm talking to.
It was just really surreal, just because, his voice is just kind of in my consciousness from a very, very young age. It's just sort of like something that's always been around, and then it's just like, oh, there he is. Huh.
That's him. Yeah, Goofy Movie was one of my favorite movies when I was a kid, so you know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
And,
We started
this
singing
movie-
them at his booth. We started singing the songs and stuff.
Nice.
Started with After Today, and then it just took
Oh,
off.
yes. Yeah, and so it was like.
Dude, I'm 31 and I still remember it. Okay.
That movie's fantastic. I got it like memorized in my head. I
Yeah.
don't care. Yeah, it was like I didn't even know he was gonna be here. And
No, he told me it was
Just
very
surprised.
last minute. And
yeah,
I was like, whoa.
we were over talking to Christian Nairn, and I just kind of glanced over and I saw Jason Marsden, and I was like, I'm pretty sure that's the guy. And then I saw like Max and Chester from Fairly Odd Parents right there, and I was like, oh, we have to go talk to him.
Yeah.
So like, I went and grabbed him, and I was like, hey.
Yeah.
Hi.
Yeah. And he sounds like exactly.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
He really does.
I mean, so it was like I was just talking to the guy that voiced Max and Chester, so it was, and Biggs and
Apparently.
Right, yeah.
So, it was very strange, and we knew Chris Pope already.
Yeah.
I was at the table with him. Well, I guess is his con agent person. I don't know. I mean,
He's doing the voice actor workshop. I think is it today or tomorrow?
It had to be today.
It had to be today because
Yeah.
Rob Paulson's jumping on with him for that. He's doing the voice actor workshop right now. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was very surreal to look over and be like, that guy was in my favorite childhood movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. That that Great Mouse Detective, but you know.
Yeah.
Ah, yes, dropping the Great Mouse Detective. Yes.
Those are the movies I watched to death.
We're just gonna sit here and just kick it old school now.
Yeah.
Screw the interview.
Let's talk about a goofy movie because they don't know.
I
They
saw it.
don't-
It's been a long time.
I've
So.
seen it a trillion times.
Yeah. Nothing.
And then I even watched an extremely goofy movie.
Oh,
okay.
that wasn't nearly as good as
That
the
wasn't
first.
nearly as good. They could have done so much more
Holly
with it. They didn't.
Shore-like character. It was
I
Pauly
love no,
Shore.
but
It
I
was
mean,
Nothing will ever
No, no,
match
that-
the
that was
comedic
like-
genius of the Leaning Tower.
I
of
was
Pisa.
yes, I was saying that. I was saying that on my Facebook. I was like, look, you can quote all the Disney to me in the world, and it will never beat. It's the Leaning Tower of Chisa. Hey, Principal Mitzer, what's up, bro?
Well, hey, also,
Like,
if
yes.
it wasn't for that movie, we probably wouldn't have been as familiar with Xavier Cugat, the Mambo King, as we are now.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, yeah, I just Tim mentioned Xavier Cugat one time, and I was like, ooh, not better than Xavier Cugat, the Mambo King. And Tim was like, what? It's like, come on, you ever seen a Goofy movie?
If you
Troy's
need a
superpower
break
is
from
being able to-
modern living.
Troy's superpower is being able to remember even the most minute lines in any movie he's ever seen.
The
Hey,
fact that I watched it
know
to
that.
death probably had something to do with
Yeah.
Yeah, that just a little bit.
it. Yeah. Maze, what's up, bro?
Yes.
Anyway.
There used to be an interview, but screw it. We're just gonna
Yeah.
talk about what we want. That's how the show usually goes anyway. We
Well,
just talk about.
we stand by the fact that we're just some dudes from the internet anyway, so
Yeah,
whatever.
Yeah, same here. Oh, well, we're from the internet.
We got our start through a website that's into hot dog stands and making the singer from Smash Mouth eat eggs. So
Make it sound like it's a foodie site.
actually,
Yeah.
A little bit.
Well, they also didn't they get a landfill named after Fred Durst in Texas somewhere? They did.
Fred Durst landed.
No.
The Fred Durst landfill. That's great.
And one of the staff writers at Something Awful.
Limp Bizkit,
About
indeed.
it was a year or two ago. He tweeted at the official Smash Mouth Twitter account because I guess he found it and it didn't
It
have
had
hardly
just
any
been
followers.
made.
Yeah, and he just said, "Dear singer of Smash Mouth, I will give you $20 if you eat 2 dozen eggs. I'm completely serious." And then other people saw his tweet and were like, "I will also give you $20. I will give you $50. I will give you $60." And then they sort of he ignored it for a while, and then he was like, "Fine, I'll eat the eggs if you donate $50,000 to this charity," and they raised the money in a day. So they sent him to one of Guy Fieri's restaurants, and Guy Fieri just made him this awful just.
He crowdsourced
Egg.
the ingredients. He's like, what should we put in?
Yeah, which is kind of
Oh my
cool because
God.
he just said eggs. That was all Guy Fieri's idea, tossing all the jalapenos and stuff. But yeah, just that was the mantra for a while was Smash Mouth eat the eggs,
Yeah.
eat them right up.
Oh, 2 dozen eggs.
You said
he
the
didn't
Fred-
eat all of them though, did he?
I don't think he did, but I can't blame him either because it just had hot sauce and jalapenos and all kinds of nasty stuff in it.
Yeah. I'm hungry now.
Yeah. How to wrap it up? To
With a freestyle rap contest?
Yeah.
No.
just
Yeah.
go, thanks for watching.
I'll just send the last 5 minutes to you so you can put in distortion and that's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jason Marsden, thanks for talking to me. I really like you. I think you're a cool guy.
I think we've
Do
really
you
learned to
like
like this
me?
interview.
Circle yes or no.